Welcome to FINA Aquatics World, and this month's program will focus on the FINA Arena Swimming World Cup in Dubai and Doha. We sit down with Olympic Champion Ruta Meilutyte, and we follow the Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series. The FINA Swimming World Cup Series has been around for a long time, with a number of changes over the years that have seen it develop into its current format. With a total prize pool of more than $1 million, it's the richest series in the sport. And two swimmers who benefited most last year were the reigning champions Chad Leclos from South Africa and Sweden's Therese Alsama. This year's edition features 8 stops, opening up in Dubai in early October and ending in mid-November in Singapore. The Hamdan Sports Complex, which staged the FINA World Swimming Championships in 2010 and this event last year, welcomed some big names to Dubai as swimmers once again took to the water after their post-Olympic breaks. The two brightest stars on site were newly crowned Olympic champions Chad Leclos and Cameron van der Berg, both hailing from South Africa, and they didn't disappoint their fans. Cameron van der Berg only had one assignment on day one, and that was the 50-meter breaststroke. After qualifying fastest in the morning session, van der Berg showed his class in the final.
Two-lap dash of the man in the breaststroke. Almost looks like the South African national titles. There's 4 of them in there, and of course, namely in lane 4, the current world record.
Well, it's going to be over almost as quickly as it began. You can see in the centre of your picture the green caps of two fellow South Africans, but it has to be said that it's a fantastic effort. They started surely, yes. Van der Berg from Zorzi, fellow countryman.
Van der Berg won the race in 26.64 seconds ahead of countryman Guilo Zorzi, and with Glenn Snyders of New Zealand in third. Van der Berg was naturally the hot favourite in the 100-metre breaststroke as the reigning Olympic champion in the event, but the final became a tight affair.
Obviously he had a fantastic Olympics, but the rest of the field starting to come back into it now. Glenn Snyders coming in with a very quick finish, but it's not enough. Van der Berg touches just before Snyders of New Zealand. And the smile says it all.
Chad Leclos also had to work hard in order to reach the tile first in the 200-metre individual medley, as Japan's Daiya Seto gave him some stiff competition.
There's nothing between these two now. Chad Leclos and Daiya Seto, stroke for stroke, sensing victory, but Chad Leclos, surely he's done enough. He has. Seto taking second.
Leclos won the race in the last few strokes ahead of Seto, the time 1:51.61. That was Leclos' 9th victory in Dubai out of 9 starts, but he couldn't make it 10 out of 10 as Kenya's Jason Dunford managed to defeat him in the 50-metre butterfly. But Leclos got his revenge on Dunford in the 100-metre final.
Very close at this stage as we come to the halfway point. It's Dunford with a 10th over Leclos, and it's actually Thomas Shields, just 21 years of age, in it as well at the moment. Well, Dunford's really going for it, but Leclos coming back. Look at him go. Leclos just really turning it on at the end. Absolutely scintillating stuff, and that was an incredible finish.
Australia's talented Kenneth Toe could somewhat surprisingly climb to the top of the podium twice in Dubai, as he swept home both the 100-metre freestyle and the 100-metre individual medley final, and topped the FINA Arena World Swimming Rankings after the Dubai event in the process.
Into the freestyle. Now, is this going to be a contender for a new record here, because he's wide out of the blocks for this. Less than half a second away from the World Cup record. But a convincing win for Kenneth Toe nonetheless.
On the women's side, vastly experienced Therese Alshammar of Sweden claimed 3 titles. Alshammar won the 50 and 100-meter butterfly as well as the 50-meter freestyle, and showed that the neck injury that troubled her in London was now in the past.
All eyes are on Alshammar, as they might be, because this is going to be over very quickly indeed. And she's had a great start, but has she done enough? It looks like she's going to take it comfortably, but there's a very late finish by Britta Steffen. It's beaten into second place.
In all 3 races, Alshammar triumphed over one of her fiercest rivals, Inge Dekker of the Netherlands. As Alshammar withdrew from the 100-meter freestyle, Germany's Britta Steffen could win that race comfortably. But the Queen of Dubai was no doubt Hungary's Katinka Hosszú, who claimed a staggering 7 individual gold medals and 1 bronze, showing immense strength in a very compact schedule.
This woman here, Katinka Hosszú, adding an amazing 3rd gold medal. Katinka Hosszú looking very strong indeed.
A remarkable achievement by the 23-year-old medley ace, who also topped the FINA Arena World Cup rankings after the first event on the women's side. We'll be back with the second stop of the FINA Arena Swimming World Cup later on in the show as the series hits Doha. Now we meet up with an Olympic sensation.
She almost swims in a bubble when she races. You know, she isn't aware of what's going on around her. She doesn't know how close other people are. I don't think she's even pays particular attention to where people are on the turn, you know, where you've got a good chance of maybe getting a glimpse of where people are. She is really blinkered when she swims. It's like her and her lane and her process, and that's it.
The words of John Rudd, coach to newly crowned Olympic 100-meter breaststroke champion Ruta Meilutyte.
My biggest aim of Olympics was just to make a final, and I wasn't expecting anything like that. I kind of like sunk in, it kind of sunk in like 2 days later or something, when I got all that attention and stuff, but I didn't feel any different. It's still the same.
I think I expected her to go a best time. It was just a case of how fast that best time was going to be. I think the heat swim was particularly exceptional. You know, first swim at an Olympics and a morning swim, and you know, a nervy type situation for anybody, I suppose. And to miss out 1:06 completely and go straight to 1:05 was pretty exceptional. So I don't know anybody that was really expecting that, but I think once she'd swum that time in the heats, I've got to be honest, I would have been disappointed if she then hadn't gone on and won it across the 3 rounds.
Ruta Meilutyte struck Olympic gold in the pool at the London 2012 Games, leading from start to finish in a performance that stunned the swimming world, but came as no surprise to those closest to her. The Lithuanian-born 15-year-old has been based in Plymouth, England for 3 years now, after making the move west with her father, Saulius, where she combines an education with her elite swimming career at the Plymouth Leander swimming program under the guidance of John Rudd.
Well, I don't know what would have happened if I stayed in FINA, but yeah, my and John's relationship is really good, and yeah, he's always there to help me and teach me, and yeah, I've learned a lot of things from him, so yeah, it's really good.
Ruta currently holds 9 Lithuanian records, the first of which she broke in 2010. Her Olympic gold has caused a sensation back home, being the first since her country gained independence from the former Soviet Union in 1990. The Golfin facilities between her current base in Plymouth and her hometown of Kaunas is marked, but thanks to her London win, hopefully the tide is set to turn for swimmers in Lithuania.
I really hope so. Well, I've heard a few people saying that they're going to build pools and stuff, but I hope those words come true, and hopefully, yeah, because there's a lot of talented people in Lithuania who really need those facilities, and obviously they can't train properly because the pools are just too bad. Obviously the biggest change was the facilities of swimming, obviously gym, swimming pool, and well, obviously school, because so I never like missed swimming because of my school and stuff. It's really all organised, and it's really helped me with my training and my education that they're trying to improve. And I hope, like in Lithuania, there'll be something like Plymouth College that swimmers and all other sport people like can go to.
Ruta's London success has sparked a surge in swimming in Lithuania, and there are already new faces on their way to the Plymouth base, hoping to follow in the footsteps of the Olympic champion. Ruta entered the London 2012 Olympics ranked 10th in the world, and she emerged with the gold medal. And she will head to Rio aged 19 with a title to defend. Swimming, along with gymnastics, is one of the few Olympic sports in which teenagers regularly stand on the podium. A trend, it seems, that is not about to change.
I think it's a trend we've always seen. I think there's just maybe a few more of them this Olympics, and that might be, you know, a demographic blip. I don't know, but there's always been young kids that have stepped up at Olympic Games and won medals and made finals from various nations around the world. You know, you can't point at any particular continent or any particular nation for being amazingly productive in that area. And on this occasion, Ruta and a couple of other girls were the ones. It's happened in male swimming, less frequently, but you know, Ian Thorpe was very young when he won his first medals, and so was Michael Phelps. Yeah, at 2016 and at 2020, there'll be some 14 or 15-year-old kid that comes along and challenges, maybe in her event, maybe in another event, and I don't think that'll change.
With a personal best of 1:05.21 set in the London semi, Jessica Hardy's world record of 1:04.45 from 2009 is Ruta's next target. John Rudd believes she can break it as long as they stick to the plan. Ruta replies in a typical laid-back fashion.
Well, we'll see. I don't know. I've got another few years till the next Olympics if I make it, and well, yeah, hopefully.
Coming up after the break, we continue our coverage of the FINA Arena Swimming World Cup. We bring you the latest news, and we catch up on the Cliff Diving World Series. Welcome back. In part 2 of FINA Aquatics World, we delve back into the FINA Arena Swimming World Cup. We keep you updated with the latest news. But first, the daredevils of cliff diving are in focus. The spectacular Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series reached Stage 5 as the Daredevils of the Aquatics World continued their chase for the title, with just 2 more stops remaining after this one. The venue for this leg of this fascinating competition took us to the City of Sports, as it likes to call itself, Boston in the USA. Going into the 5th round, the top 3 were naturally the favourites even this time around. Gary Hunt from Britain is a 2-time winner of the series, but is once again shadowed by 9-time world champion Orlando Duque from Colombia with his distinctive ponytail. Also in the mix we find the red-hot Russian Artem Silchenko, winner of the last 2 stops on the tour. Like at every stop of the Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series, the 7 head-to-head winners and the lucky loser qualify for the final. And ahead of the final round here in Boston, the local crowd were pleasantly surprised to find USA's David Coulturi in first place. Not a bad last dive from the American, who produced a back armstand 2.5 somersaults with 3 twists. But he wasn't clean through the air, and those minor mistakes resulted in a score of 5.6 to drop him down to 3rd. Next up was Orlando Duque, who amazingly found himself in last place in the final after the first round. Using his experience, he climbed through the rankings with some great diving, and he finished off a set of dives in world-class fashion. A back triple somersault with 3 twists, a fantastic dive that definitely impressed the judges. They rewarded his effort with high scores and a 2nd place on the day. But the day belonged to the Brit Gary Hunt, despite some ups and downs throughout the competition. And it was his party piece, the triple quad, that would decide his fate. An almost flawless dive from Hunt, who nailed the most difficult dive ever with a degree of difficulty an amazing 6.3. That, needless to say, guaranteed him victory and made up for his poor 6th place finish in Ireland.
Well, I'm really happy to end up on the podium. I put myself in a good position yesterday, but then today I just felt like I was missing a little bit on each dive. I think I threw up a little bit too much splash on each of the 3. And so it was a little bit of a worrying situation. I didn't know if my dives were going to be good enough, and then it was really tough watching those last 3 divers, knowing that a really good dive could take me off the podium, but it worked out in my favour.
Off to Wales in the UK for their next stop. All eyes were naturally on series leader Hunt, who was diving in his own backyard. The Blue Lagoon is situated in Pembrokeshire, close to the Aberystwyth beach, and the breached quarry created an amphitheatre in which the drama of the final unfolded. Hunt may have felt the pressure of performing in front of a partisan home crowd, as he missed his triple quad in the 3rd round. He still made the podium though, finishing in a creditable 3rd place with a total of 460.75. With the home boy faltering, there was a chance for experienced Orlando Duque to take advantage. He did not do enough for the win here in Wales, but his performance was rewarded with 467.80 points, enough for 2nd place. US diver Stephen Lebeau was last to arrive at the event after enduring a flight delay, but it didn't seem to affect the American as everything clicked into place. $481.90 points for the man who was placed 2nd in 2 competitions prior to Wales. And it was nice to see that his consistency finally paid off at the UK's first ever cliff diving event of this nature. So, all set up for a thrilling finale as the circuit moves on to the Middle East for the first time ever. The exotic surroundings of the Wadi Shab will welcome the divers with a trio of Duque, Hunt and Lebeau all going for the ultimate prize. Should be exciting.
It's time to return to the FINA Arena Swimming World Cup and the 2nd stop of this year's series as Doha played host to its maiden event. Pretty much the same star-studded field turned up as in Dubai, and there were many similarities in the podium positions. Katinka Hosszu, the sensation of the Dubai event, continued to impress in Doha as she claimed 7 more victories in the FINA Aquatics Centre. Following a somewhat disappointing Olympic campaign in London, where she missed out on the medals, finishing 4th in the final of the 400-meter individual medley, Hosszu now seems to be in the best shape of her life, producing world marks like there's no tomorrow. But Horseshoe didn't win all her races. In the 200-meter backstroke, she finished third in a very fast race.
And earlier in the week, when Zavina claimed gold, there was not a lot in it, to be honest with you. She only just managed to out-touch Melissa Ingram of New Zealand. It's looking much more emphatic this time round, and she'll come home with a length and a half.
Victory for the mere 18-year-old Darina Zavina from Ukraine in the time of 2:02.99, which was the highest-ranked performance on the female side in Doha. The three-time backstroke champion from the World Junior Championships in Lima last year now showed her class against seasoned opponents as well. One of the most entertaining races in Doha was the men's 200-meter butterfly, where Chad Leclos once again squared off with Japanese youngster Daiya Saito.
He's got it all to do, Leclos. Has he left it too late as we turn for the last time? The final 25 is going to be between these two, and it's Daiya Saito in gold medal position in the yellow cap there in the centre of your picture, but Leclos coming back very strongly as he often does. Has he done enough? I think Sato's going to hold on. He does indeed. Claims the gold medal. Leclos has to settle for silver. It was such a strong start from Daiya Saito, and he was never going to let Leclos in, was he?
Saito managed to defeat the Olympic champion by the smallest of margins in a new world-leading time of 1:51.30. The top performer on the men's side was once again Australia's Kenneth Toe, who scored highest in winning the 100-meter individual medley final in the time of 51:58.
Lane 3, Kenneth Toe still ahead, but coming into it now, George Bovell has a very strong back 50 in this event, right on his shoulder, but I don't think he's done enough. And Kenneth Toe holds on for another gold. He claimed gold in Dubai earlier this week.
And of course then there was the South African delegation. Leclos lost the 200-meter butterfly but didn't leave Doha wanting a victory.
So Leclos in 3 with the green cap of South Africa still ahead. And he's got a strong back 50, remember, in the butterfly. I think if he just does what he normally does, he should hold on, and he's got a very discernible lead now over Evgeny Karatishkin, who's going to take silver, and it looks like bronze is going to Thomas Shields. And Leclos refined his mojo and claims a gold medal in the 100 butterfly.
A new South African record as Leclos touched first in the time of 49:60. Teammates Cameron Vanderberg and Darian Townsend also claimed victories, making this yet another successful stop for the South African contingent. Looking at the standings after 2 events, it's been a great start to the series for Australia's Kenneth Toe, who tops the men's table with a maximum of 50 points. Rivals in the pool, Daiya Saito and Chad Leclos, are tied on 36 points, while Cameron Vanderberg's many victories haven't placed him better than 9th. On the women's side, Darina Zavina and Katinka Horseshoe have both earned 45 points and have 19 points down to New Zealand's Melissa Ingram in 3rd. Therese Alshammer is a further 6 points behind in 4th position. The FINA Arena Swimming World Cup now continues with a European tour with stops in Stockholm, Moscow and Berlin, before the series ends with 3 events in Asia.
The 2008 double Olympic gold medal winner Rebecca Adlington had to settle with 2 bronze medals in London. Adlington has still not decided on her future, but will take part in a charity event called Bike for Africa, where she will ride 450 kilometers across Zambia. Olympic champion Ruta Meilutyte's coach in Plymouth, John Rudd, has been awarded the Cross of the Knight of the Order of Merits by the Lithuanian president Dalia Grybauskaitė. He's also been presented with the Olympic Gold Star, the highest honor the country's Olympic Committee can bestow.
That's it for this episode. We'll be back in a month's time with more aquatics action. Until then, thanks for watching. Bye for now.